I want to give all praise and glory to Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai Bahasham Ha Rakah Kodash, double honors unto our apostle elders which rule great millstone well, and shalom to the hopeful elect of the nation of Israel. May you endure until the end. Shalom Wa Abba Babal. This is Isaiah 66, and I'm going to start at 1. All right. It says, Verse 1, Thus saith Yahweh, the heaven is my throne, and the earth is my footstool. Where is the house that ye build unto me? And where is the place of my rest? Which we had a temple, which King Solomon built, which was destroyed multiple times and is now destroyed. But now we are that temple. All right. It says in Revelation 21 and 3, And I heard a great voice out of heaven saying, Behold, the tabernacle where Yahweh's Spirit dwells, the tabernacle of Yahweh our power is with men, and it's by the Spirit of Yahweh Shai, and he will dwell with and he will dwell with them, and they shall be his people, the Israelites, and Yahweh himself shall be with them and be their power, which he gave us Yahweh Shai as our mediator, and he has reconciled us back to our power, Yahweh. Isaiah 66 and verse 2, For all those things had mine hand made, and all those things have been, saith Yahweh, but to this man will I look, even to him that is poor and of a contrite spirit, and trembleth at my word. So the Lord has favor for a man, an Israelite man, which we're the poor of this society because we're enslaved. We're enslaved under the Edomites, and of a contrite spirit. I mean, pretty much you're brokenhearted because of this fucking wicked ass place. And trembleth at my word. You know, you fear the Lord, and the fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge. And why would you fear him? Because he could fuck you up. He could destroy your flesh and your mind. It says in verse 3, He that killeth an ox is as if he slew a man. He that sacrificeth the lamb and is as if he cut off a dog's neck. He that offereth an oblation as if he offered swine's blood. He that burneth incense as if he blessed an idol. Yea, they have chosen their own ways, and their soul delighted in the abominations. And that's how Jake is today. Jake enjoys wickedness, all right? So the Lord's going to destroy the most of Jake, all right? Here in America, he's going to kill 2/3 of the nation of Israel and save only 1/3. Verse 4, I also will choose their delusions and will bring their fears upon them. Because when I called, none did answer. When I spake, they did not hear. And how does he speak? Through the mouth of the prophets. But they did evil before mine eyes, and chose that in which I delight not. Which I just did a video about that. Adultery is a major thing in America, right? And the Lord does not delight in adultery. And just looking at a man looking at another man's wife lusting after her is adultery, and a woman looking at another man in the face lusting after his looks is adultery. All right? You don't have to sleep with no one. You just think about it and you've done it. All right? The Lord does not delight in these abominations. Even idolatry, right? We did adultery. What about idolatry? A lot of people walk around with crosses and these false idols, right? The Lord is not delighted by that. It says in verse 5, Hear the word of Yahweh, ye that tremble at his word. See, the fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge. Your brethren that hated you, that cast you out from my name's sakes, for my name's sake, said, Let Yahweh be glorified, but he shall appear to your joy, and they shall be ashamed, right? Because you try to correct them, but they don't want to hear the correction, so they rebuke you, right? They say, they put it on you that you're saying it out of pride or some shit, right? Well, the Lord's going to rebuke them because he's the one that put it in the mouth of the prophets to tell them. It says, a voice of noise from the city, a voice from the temple, a voice of Yahweh that rendereth recompense to his enemies, which it tells you in Isaiah 59 and 18. It says, according to their deeds, accordingly he will repay. Fury to his adversaries, recompense to his enemies, to the islands he will repay. So shall they fear the name of Yahweh. That's why he's going to do it. That's why he's going to put all these people to death, so that they could fear the name of Yahweh. From the west, where's the west? The Western Hemisphere, America, North America, Central America, South America, the Caribbeans. And his glory from the rising of the sun, the east. When the enemy shall come in like a flood, when they want to hurt us, the Spirit of Yahweh shall lift up a standard against them, which will get an increase of power. It says in Isaiah 66, verse 7, it says, before she travailed, she brought forth. Before her pain came, she was delivered of a man-child. Who hath heard such a thing? Who has seen such things? Shall the earth be made to bring forth in one day? Or shall a nation be born at once? Which this is why it took time. It took time for us to come back in these different generations, right? For as soon as Zion travailed, she brought forth her child, Yahushai. Shall I bring to the birth and not cause to bring forth? He gave us this truth, and what? It ends here? This is all we got? No. We're about to go to the next glory. But majority of the Israelites got to die because they're not worthy of the glory. Saith Yahweh, shall I cause to bring forth and shut the womb? Can a woman, you know what I'm saying? Saith thy power. Does the Lord let a woman have a baby and then say the baby dies in her womb? Does it stay in her womb forever? No, it comes forth either way. That's what he's saying. There's no stopping this. There is no stopping this. You cannot stop this judgment that Yahushua brings. All right? It says, rejoice ye with Jerusalem, and be glad with her. All ye that love her, rejoice for joy with her. All ye that mourn for her, which are the Israelites in their right mind. All right? That ye may suck and be satisfied with the breast of her consolations, that ye may milk out and be delighted with the abundance of her glory, which is this truth, right? This truth is nourishing to us, right? It says, if you have tasted and the sincere milk, it says in 1 Peter 2, verse 2, as newborn babes desire the sincere milk of the word, that ye may grow thereby, if so be ye have tasted that the Lord is gracious. Right? He gives you instruction how to deal with certain situations. So let's go back down. It's verse 12. For thus saith Yahweh, behold, I will extend peace to her like a river, which is this truth, and the glory of the Gentiles, which are Israelites that have been scattered amongst the heathen, repenting and returning to the truth, like a flowing stream. Then shall ye suck, and ye shall be born of her sides, and be dandled upon her knees. Translation comparison, NLT. This is what Yahweh says, I will give Jerusalem a river of peace and prosperity, which is this truth. the wealth of the nations will flow to her, which we're going to get the heathen for our slaves. Her children will be nursed at her breasts, which is this truth, carried in her arms and held on her lap. We're protected. The Holy Spirit, it says the angels encamp around his holy ones. It says in verse 13, as one whom his mother comforteth, so will I comfort you, which a mother is supposed to comfort her children, right? If the father corrects him, if he falls down and gets hurt, the mother is supposed to comfort the child, right? And ye shall be comforted in Jerusalem, and we're comforted by the Holy Spirit. And when ye see this, your heart shall rejoice, and your bones shall flourish like an herb which we're multiplying. You see more and more. You see these haters like Vocab Malone, and they're upset because the truth is increasing. More Israelites are waking up to the truth. And the hand of Yahweh shall be known toward his servants, and his indignation toward his enemies. For behold, and what you got to remember, 2/3 of the Israelites in America are the enemy of the Lord. So he's going to destroy them. For behold, the Lord will come with fire and with his chariots, the so-called UFOs, like a whirlwind, to render his anger with fury and his rebuke with flames. So them that he don't accept, he's going to destroy. For by fire and by his sword will Yahweh plead with all flesh. He's going to put you to death. That's how he's going to plead. You don't do what he says, you're going to die. And the slain of Yahweh shall be many. And the slain of Yahweh shall be many, because they don't take heed to the prophets. They don't believe what we're saying. They that sanctify themselves and purify themselves in the gardens behind one tree in the midst, eating swine's flesh and the abomination and the mouse, shall be consumed together, saith Yahweh, which that tree in the middle of the garden represents Edom. You're in these Christian churches, right? And they say the law's done away with. All you got to do is say the name Jesus and you're saved, right? Well, the Lord's going to destroy you, all right? Because the reason why you like that is so that you're not accountable for your sin. But the Lord knows all things. He sees everything you do. He knows why you're doing it. He's in your mind. He knows why. So he's going to punish you in a horrible way, and he's going to destroy your flesh and your mind. For I know their works and their thoughts. It shall come that I will gather all nations and tongues, and they shall come and see my glory, which we're doing through the internet. And I will set a sign among them, the prophet that speak the name of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, and I will send those that escape of them unto the nations, to Tarshish, Pul, and Lud, that draw the bow to Tubal and Javan, to the isles afar off that have not heard my fame. But you have Israelites scattered amongst all the heathen. It says, neither have seen my glory, and they shall declare my glory among the Gentiles, like Apostle Paul. And they shall bring all your brethren for an offering unto Yahweh out of all nations upon horses, and in chariots, and in litters, and upon mules, and upon swift beasts, to my holy mountain Jerusalem, saith Yahweh, as the sons of Israel bring an offering in a clean vessel into the house of Yahweh, and I will also take of them for priests and for Levites, saith Yahweh, which we're all able to be priests, all the Israelite men, because of Yahweh's sacrifice. It says in 1 Peter 2:9, it says, but ye are a chosen generation, a royal priesthood, an holy nation, a peculiar people, that ye should show forth the praises of him who had called you out of darkness into his marvelous light, which in time past were not a people, but are now the people of Yahweh. We are the Israelites, Yasharallah, the princes of the power, which had not obtained mercy, but now have obtained mercy. Going back to Isaiah 66 and verse, let's see. Yeah, I'm almost done. I'll just read through the rest of this chapter. It says in verse 22, for as the new heavens and the new earth, which the new heavens is us ruling, the Israelites ruling, and the new earth are the heathen as our slaves, which I will make, shall remain before me, saith Yahweh, so shall your seed and your name remain. And it shall come to pass that from one new moon to another, and from one Sabbath to another, shall all flesh come to worship before me, saith Yahweh, which will be in the kingdom of heaven. And they shall go forth and look upon the carcasses of men that have transgressed against me, for their worm shall not die, neither shall their fire be quenched, and they shall be an abhorring unto all flesh, which Edom, the son of perdition, the man of sin, and those reprobates are going to be turned into a desert here in America. The Lord's going to destroy America with nuclear missiles. He's going to put it in the heart of the heathen to shoot nuclear missiles on America. And it's going to turn America into a desert. All right? And it's going to be a memorial of what happens to them that live ungodly. All right? The judgment that takes place to them that live ungodly. And the land is going to be like white sand with yellow brimstones, which is sulfur. All right, and it's all going to be done at the return of Yahushua in 1 hour after they make the implantable microchip, the mark of the beast, mandatory for buying and selling worldwide. With that, shalom to the elect, wa abababal.